All right, so as we got a special guest today, Mason, you know how we normally do like the music and you say MGB and it's all that stuff? We're going to do a cold opening. Do you know what a cold opening is?
Nope.
Basically what we're doing right now. You just talk for a little bit about anything you want to,
Okay.
and it doesn't really start at any particular point. It's kind of very different to do it this way. And then normally, probably a couple minutes in, somebody will say, oh, perhaps we should play the intro. And then they play like the intro a little bit later. So it's kind of like the show, but it's messed up. So you kind of do the intro and you go to the music rather than doing the music and then the intro. But I thought that would be pretty good because that's what our guest does. Does that sound good for you?
Yeah.
All right. Then I'm going to insert the music at this point.
M is for Mason.
G is for Graham.
B for Betcha.
This is the MGB Wrestling Podcast, the podcast with PG rated material accessible to wrestling fans of all ages.
All right, Mason, so we're back. So we got a very special guest today. This has been on the cards for a while, and this was not looking good because of your behavior. We've kind of been in and out. Are we going to get Paul on or not? Anyway, we finally got him here. We got Paul Tolley with us from the At 5 Nerds Go podcast. How are you doing tonight, Paul?
I'm great. It's lovely to be here. Thanks, Graham and Mason, for having me on.
And thanks for accommodating us. The problem we have with our show is I think we probably have more fans in England than we have in the US. And with the time difference, he's got home early today. So this was the earliest we could have recorded this. So it's 6 o'clock for us. I know it's 11 o'clock, approaching midnight. I don't know. What's the latest you guys have ever recorded? It sounds like every time you record, it gets close to midnight.
We usually go past midnight. We usually start about 9:30 in the evening, and we ramble a lot. So we're always pushing midnight.
Their show's gone for a long time. That's the first thing, because they always have little side issues, and then they'll talk about something else. And then you guys have a quiz as well, so that's the other thing. So we got a common theme here. We're definitely the PG version, and you're definitely the non-PG version of that. But I think that's cool that we're going to get to do a quiz with you as well. I was wondering, actually, I was like, should I just mess with Paul? You guys tend to, and I don't know, I can't remember who writes the quizzes for you guys, or if you take it in turns, but you always seem to create new rules as you're going into it. So I was going to start a quiz, and then in the middle of it, just mess up the rules or just change the rules, just for your benefit, just so you felt like right at home.
I appreciate that. What we usually do is we usually have like the equivalent of the football rule when you're at school, where no matter what the score is, the last goal wins.
That sounds
so
perfectly fair.
It's usually for 50 points or something.
All right.
MGB.
All right, Mason. So let's get us started off with round one then. So we're going to go straight to Monday Night Raw. And you actually your baseball game got cancelled this week. So you actually got to watch the Hulu version of this. So you actually got to see nearly 2 hours of this. Mm-hmm. So do you want to go ahead and give us your third moment?
So my third moment is at the end. Dean, he's in the middle of Braun, Drew, and Dolph, and Roman and Seth is in the ring.
Uh-huh.
And he looks at Drew and all them.
Yeah.
Looks at Roman, and then he starts walking to the Shield, so he's with the Shield, so that's good.
All right, is that going to last, or is that just for this episode?
So Seth was talking to Drew, so I actually think that they could swap at Super Showdown.
Oh, a switch. So one from that group could join the Shield.
Okay, so Dean could take out Roman and Seth.
Okay.
Braun could take out, not Braun. Drew could take out Braun. Maybe not Braun, but Dolph.
Okay.
Maybe Roman could take out Braun, and then he takes out them. And then I don't know which way WWE's gonna go.
So you think there's gonna still be a 3 and a 3?
Yeah. No, I don't know. They might go with Drew and Dean swap, or they might become a 2 and a 2 and a 2.
It sounds like you're making this up off the top of your head. You had a clear idea. I told Matt the other day, you said Braun was going to join the Shield. That's what you told me the other day.
Braun.
That's what it sounded like. All right, Paul, give us a more common sense opinion of this. What did you make of this?
I thought it was excellently played out. What I loved about it was the way every time the Shield were in the ring, Dean Ambrose was stalking behind the other two. Yeah, and it was like a mirror image of what Seth Rollins did when he turned on the Shield a few years back. So a part of me was always expecting it to come. I don't think anyone's going to be switching sides
I think that's I think that's definitely a unique opinion. No, I don't think anybody this week on any podcast is going to be talking about that, because that's why people tune in. They get to hear those different perspectives. Matt was making fun of you, actually, on our podcast, because you predicted Ric Flair was going to interfere in the Charlotte Flair match. That was one of your... I thought that was a good writing, actually, on that one. But we'll see how that... No, I backed you up on that. I thought that would have been a great... That would have been better than what they actually did, probably. All right, what's your second moment then, Mason?
So my second moment is Brie. She does the yes kicks to Liv Morgan, and then she kicks Liv Morgan in the face. Her head snaps back and then comes back, and then she kicks her face again. Then she goes back for the tag. She tags him, and you can see that Sarah Logan was very worried about her.
She was. I think it was one of the worst moves I've ever seen. Now, so when we've got to clarify this. These aren't really the top moments. These are just the three most talk. We never decided this. We're 27 episodes in, and we still haven't decided what we even call this segment. And we should just call it talking points, I guess. But yeah, no, it looked absolutely awful, and it looked like she hit when she went for Ruby Riott as well. Later in that match, and apparently you could hear on the audible she actually apologized to Ruby Riott, so she didn't have a great match. Anything to add on this one, Paul?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you noticed, but Ruby Riott got her back.
It looked like it, yeah.
Even quite a sharp kick in the abdomen herself. So that whole situation was a mess. I don't think Brie Bella is a very good wrestler in my opinion, particularly compared to the women they have available now.
I would agree. I was trying to remember. I think it was Braun Strowman. I think it was Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, and I think something happened similar. I think Brock went too far on one of them. So it sometimes happens in the ring; they lose their temper. But.
I think Lana and Maurice are very good wrestlers either.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they were good.
No,
I was about to jump all over you at that point.
Wrestlers.
No, I would definitely agree with that. How on earth did she get a match this week with Becky Lynch? I have no idea. Anyway,
isn't it a
never
title
mind.
match?
Never mind. All right, what's your top moment from this? We're still on Raw right now.
Yeah, so it's the Kevin Owens show, and he invites Leah Rush, and then he's with Elias, and then they have a chair out for him, and then he's just standing in the walkway. And then Elias grabs a booster seat for Leo Rush, and he's pretty small, and I thought that was really funny.
I thought that was good too. Obviously, with having young kids, I recognise that one as well. I thought that was pretty funny. What about your daughter? Does she still use booster seats there, Paul? We meant to give her a shout out earlier when we forgot. It's Phoebe, right?
It is Phoebe, yes. So she's in a car seat, still in the car seat at the moment. But yeah, that moment really made me laugh. I like the whole Kevin Owens show segment. I hope they do a few more of those.
Yeah, no, I thought that was good. All right then, Paul, let's go to you then. I don't know if we've got any matches on this one. Sometimes that happens, or sometimes we come up with totally different ones. What have you got for your third moment?
Okay, my third moment is seeing Connor beat Chad Gable.
Mm-hmm.
Connor from the Ascension.
Yep.
Just because I was absolutely shocked to see him actually score a victory.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. I didn't think that was coming at all. The part that I really liked in that match was Chad really sold it. He ran face first into the ring post.
Yes.
And he did not slow down at all. I was like, oh my gosh, that must have... He could have backed out of that a little bit. He fully went into it, and he was fully committed. But no, I agree with that. I didn't see that one coming either, and that makes the excitement. Anything you want to add to this one, Mason?
No.
No, I thought that was a good match too. All right, what's your number 2 moment then, Paul?
Yeah, just to pick up on you, I've gone for matches. So my number 2 moment was Finn Balor beating Jinder Mahal with the help of Bayley.
Now, I missed parts of this one, so you might have to tell us a few more things about this. I remember seeing like the end of it, but I don't actually remember much about the actual match itself.
Yeah, so the actual match itself was a really decent match, a good opening to the show. The way it ended, of course, was I can't remember if it was Alicia Fox or one of the Singh brothers who.
Is it Sunil? I always get those two mixed. Sunil Sung, yeah.
Yes, Sunil. I think he tripped Finn Balor, and then in return, Bayley tripped Jinder Mahal, which cost Mahal the match. And I just thought it was really fun, and I really liked how behind Bayley the crowd were. She hasn't had a lot to work with for probably since her feud with Alexa Bliss earlier in the year, last year.
Yeah.
But still, the crowd love her, and I think she's a great character.
There was a question asked today that I saw by the Blade Job show. Who was the purest heel? Who's the purest face in WWE right now? And I have to admit, Bayley was one of the first things that came to mind. I know she had that little feud with Sasha where they were in little spats, but it never really lasted for that long.
I was going to say Becky, but now she's not.
And
really.
she's turned heel, and she started to go a little non-PG as well.
Yeah,
I answered on your behalf, Mason. It actually said in the WWE. It didn't say which wrestler, so I said obviously Renee Young. It didn't say wrestler, so I thought that was a pretty good one. Yeah, no, I thought I like Bayley's move at the end. Is it the Bayley to belly or the belly to Bayley?
I don't know.
Or
it's
Bayley to Bayley?
It's like for the Biggie, Biggie suplex or so. I don't know. It's something like that.
I couldn't figure out what it was, but Sun Il Sing actually looks like he could be on his way out. Jinder did not look very happy with him. I think he might have outstayed his welcome, although Alicia Fox as a backup, I don't think it's going to be much use either. All right, what's your number one match then, Paul? We'll phrase it that way.
Number one was the tag team title match. Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler versus The Revival.
Yeah.
I loved this match. It was hard hitting, really fast paced. I love Drew Galloway and Dolph Ziggler as tag team champions. I think they had the match of the night at Money in the Bank, Hell in a Cell, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think they had the match of the night here as well. It was really good, and I like the Revival every time I see them. I think every time they get given an opportunity, they really make the most of it.
I would agree.
And particularly Dawson. Dawson looked fantastic in this match.
Now, I recorded with Matt yesterday, and I was actually the good cop, so I had to talk about all the good things. And I just had so many things for that match that I just had to summarize it pretty much like you did. I just said, it was just that match. I was just like, there was so many good things. I tried writing some down, and then it just got so out of control. The whole thing was good, straight start to finish. I thought that was a fantastic match. I absolutely agree with you. For me, that was definitely the match of the night.
They're both really good tag teams, classic style tag teams. And
yeah.
And when you throw two teams together like that, you remember how good tag team wrestling can be.
Now, I'm really glad that you also call him Drew Galloway, because I'm always guilty of that, and I feel terrible every time I say it. So you made me feel much better than I know. And I actually
Who
picked
is that?
Drew McIntyre. That's what he used to be called on his first run through. But for some reason,
wrong.
Yeah, you said Drew Galloway. I do the same thing all the time, and I constantly, every time I say it, I'm like, why do I say that? It says Drew. It's so weird. You get so used to that character that you tend to make something. Did you want to add anything to that match?
So I had a video, and it was older, and it was Drew McIntyre before he went down to NXT, and at that point he was like Vince's boy, like Roman is now. But
oh, he was.
Yes,
I didn't actually remember that time
at all. He was the chosen one. And then
wow. So he had a real fall from grace.
Yes.
I don't know how long you've been watching wrestling, Paul. Oh, I don't know if we've talked about this before. Is that an era that you used to watch, or how long have you been watching for?
Well, I've been watching since WrestleMania 9. I
think long time.
WrestleMania 9 was the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
But there was a long period between maybe 2004 and 2011. I didn't watch any at all.
Yeah.
And then CM Punk dropped his pipe bomb. And I saw everyone talking about that on the internet, and that's what clawed me back in, and I've been watching ever since again.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Some people do continually watch for like 25 and 30 years, and then there's other people that have those gaps. And I've been one of those people as well. I've had gaps depending on where I've lived, access to WWE, no interest, whatever it's been. So, yeah. All right, let's get on to this. Oh, let's see if I had anything. I was going to see if there was anything I thought you guys missed from what I actually said. I think you actually pretty much covered everything that I had. I'm just looking here. I had 7 moments. You hit 6 of my 7, so I think I'm pretty much agreeing with you guys. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. And we're going to go on to the quiz.
MGB.
Now, we got a very special round of Are You Smarter Than a 4-Year-Old? Jackson might actually be getting a little too good at this recently. Jackson beat, let's see who he's beat since we've had this competition. He beat the Is It Over Yet guys. Matt was also on that from the Mad Attack. Last time we did this episode was actually 3 weeks ago. We actually released 2 Nova Pro episodes back to back. It was against Dennis Farrell from the Wrestling Perspectives podcast. That was actually a tie, but he didn't manage to be smarter than a 4-year-old. So he's actually doing pretty well. Mason here has taken a side seat right now because you actually keep losing. It's actually 5.5 to 2.5 right now. But you actually won the last one. So you're starting to come back. Now, Paul, you've always been a really good sport online, and you've always admitted if Mason beat you or not when we used to play Are You Smarter Than a 4th Grader? So, as you've been such a good sport, we're actually going to tailor this to something that's actually going to help you. Normally, I try and pick the least helpful thing. So, Blade Job's favourite wrestler is Chris Jericho, but he hates Shawn Michaels. So he got questions on Shawn Michaels. Now, I did the opposite for that. I talked to Dej Kirkby, so I'm hoping this is accurate. He tells me that you like the wrestler, and I don't even know how to say the name properly. Is it Shota Umino?
It is. Shota Umino, yes.
Okay, perfect. So we've tailored the questions on Shota Umino. I knew nothing about him at all, so this is all pretty much from Wikipedia and whatever else I could find on the internet quickly. So it's going to be multiple choice, though.
What have you done?
So Jackson will be able to answer the questions as well. So this is really a handicap match. Like I said, Jackson's been winning a lot recently. You've been such a good sport.
Ugly ducklings.
Oh, we forgot about that one. We will make sure that you have a chance to have a little advantage on this one, okay? All right, question 1. He hasn't recorded yet, because like I said, he was supposed to do this live with you, and then that didn't work, okay? All right, first question. This one's definitely going to give you a head start, because he's not going to know this one. Is Shota a young unicorn or a young lion?
He's a young lion.
He is. That's a great start. That's 1 point. Are you keeping track, Mason, on the score? All right. Question 2. Who did Shota beat in Manchester at the Rev Pro Strong Style Evolve Day 2? Was it Yuji Nakata or the Great Okan?
I didn't know he won, but I know he fought Yuji Nagata, so I guess he beat him, Yuji Nagata.
Correct. All right, that's a good start. All right, question 3. A few more options on this one. This one's going to be a little tougher. We wanted to give you a little lead to begin with here, to give you a good chance. After 90 matches, what was his winning percentage in 2018? Was it 21%, 31%, 41%, or 51%?
It's going to be low because young lions take a bit of a pasting on the main show. So I'm going to go for the lowest, 21%.
It is 21%. Now, this actually brings in, because you can actually tell us a little bit more. I saw this, and I was like, oh god, this guy loses a lot. So tell me, if neither of us watch New Japan, what's the appeal of Shota Umino? What would be the reason for getting us to try and watch him? Or what appeals him to you?
As you can see from that percentage, don't watch Shota Umino if you're looking for a winner to back. But basically, in Japan, they have a system called the Young Lion system.
Okay.
Which basically where young wrestlers go into this system. They go live at the New Japan dojo, and their job is to they have the opening matches on a New Japan show usually against veterans. So they take a lot of losses, and then after their matches, they kind of look after the ringside area. So they kind of get medical treatment for the wrestlers if they need it, or keep the barriers in place when people are throwing their opponents into barriers. So they're kind of immersed in all the action, but they are, for want of a better word, jobbers on the main show.
And that's actually what I was going to ask you. Would you say that they're closer to being jobbers, or are they closer to being like NXT, where they're sort of learning the profession, or a bit of both?
It's a bit of both. So Shota Umino's 19 years old, I believe. So he's learning the ropes, but I see, when I watch him, I see him as the next big thing. I wouldn't be surprised if once he graduates from the Young Lions, he makes a big impact very quickly. All
right, we'll keep an eye out for that. All right, so that's 3 out of 3 so far, so this is a great start. All right, next question. Shota is from what city in Japan?
Ooh, this will be guessing. I've got no options on this one. This is just, I've got to guess. Osaka?
It's Tokyo. Now, clearly that wasn't a multiple choice question, and there's no way Jackson's going to be able to guess a city from Japan, so that's not actually your question. I thought you might just say Tokyo straight away. The actual question is, what is the name of the baseball team from Japan? Is it... from Tokyo. Is it the Eagles, the Swallows, or the Dragons?
Oh, yeah, I only know the Hiroshima Carp, because Tetsuya Naito's always wearing their jersey. Can I have the options again? Sorry.
Yeah, it's Eagles, Swallows, or Dragons.
I'm going to go Tokyo Eagles.
All right, Mason, you're the baseball person here, really. What do you think for this
I've been
one?
keeping track. He has 3 and I get 2.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You're playing along as
Yeah,
well. Okay.
well, by myself. I'm going Swallows.
It is actually. It's the
Oh.
Swallows. I've never even heard of the Tokyo
Yeah.
Swallows. I thought that was a random one. Oh, he's just showing me it's 3-3 right now. Okay, you're playing along as well. All right. Yeah, I thought I'd mess him up by
Kinda.
throwing a baseball question in there as well. All right, next one. Who weighs more, Johnny Gargano or Shota Umino?
I'm going to go with Shota. He's quite a big chap.
Just 205 pounds, and Johnny Gargano was 199. So you got
Oh,
that one.
really? Is that close?
Yeah, it's that close. And I didn't really... I remember seeing the pictures. I actually wrote this quiz a few weeks ago, because it looked like you might have been on a little bit earlier, and then I just don't remember what even this guy looks like. Did you get that one, Mason?
No.
You didn't get that one?
I was
Okay.
guessing Johnny because I don't even know who he is.
All right. Okay, next one. Who is older? And you just talked about how old you thought he was as well. Is it Shota or Tyler Bate?
Oh, I know Tyler's young.
That's why I picked him.
I don't think he's 19 younger. I think Shota's younger.
You think Shota is the younger one? You are correct, but it is very, very close, actually. He's not 19. He's actually 21.
Oh, really? Okay.
Tyler was March 1997, and Shota is April 1997. So he's 1 month younger than Tyler, but that was pretty
Wow.
close. That was pretty close. I was trying to think, who else can I think of for a young wrestler? Tyler was the only one I...
Done?
Pete Dunne's not that young. He's got to
Oh.
be at least in his 20s.
Mikey Bacon.
We don't have as many young wrestlers in WWE or that sort of... Like, even people like, I don't know, Velveteen Dream. I think he's like 22, something like that. But anyway. All right, I think you're doing pretty good. All right, that's 5, right, Mason?
5.
5 out of 6? All right, let's close it out with this last question. At the start of 2018, how many matches did Shota lose before winning his first match? Was it 3, 6, 9, or 12?
Oh, wow. This will be a pure... I'm going to go 6.
All right.
That's what I was
Mason,
going.
you're playing
I
along?
was going with
You were
6.
going with 6 as well? It was actually 12.
Oh,
So that would explain why his winning percentage was very low if you looked at it in January and probably even February. So he's already started to turn it around a little bit. All right, Mason, final count. What do we have?
I got 3 and Paul has 5.
And Paul has 5. All right, we'll play with Jackson later. I think he's going to struggle to do that. All right, Jackson's back, so he's ready to do his quiz now. So these are all questions about the wrestler called Shota Umino, okay? All right, first question. Is Shota a young unicorn or a young lion?
A young lion.
Good start, buddy. 1 out of 1. All right, number 2. Who did Shota beat in Manchester? Was it Yuji Nakata or was it the Great Okan?
Great Okan.
It wasn't. It was Yuji, unfortunately. All right, next one. After 90 matches, what was his winning percentage? 21% or 51%?
51%.
It was 21%, unfortunately. He loses quite a lot. All right, number 4. Now, Shota's from... You know Japan from your World Cup stickers, right? He's from the city called Tokyo. What's the name of their baseball team? Is it the Eagles, the Swallows, or the Dragons?
The dragons.
It is not. And there was a team called the Dragons, though. It's actually the Swallows. All right, let me keep a track of how you got. You got 1 so far. All right. Do you know who Johnny Gargano is? All right, this will be an interesting one then. Who weighs more, Johnny Gargano or Shota?
Filter.
He does. He weighs 6 pounds more. He weighs 205. Do you know who Tyler Bate is?
No.
You know Mustache Mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember Mustache? He's in Mustache Mountain. All right, who's older? Is it Shota or is it Tyler Bate?
Filter.
He's not actually. He's a little bit younger. He's only 21, but he's a little bit younger. And at the start of 2008, how many matches did he lose before winning his first match? Did he lose 3, 6, 9, or 12?
12.
He did lose 12. All right, buddy. I think that was 3. Paul actually got 5, so Paul actually won, but you did a pretty good job since you didn't know who he was. All right, thank you, buddy.
Did I win?
Who got more? You got 3, he got 5. Which is more?
5.
5. Do you want to say good job, Paul?
Good job, Paul.
Now, Paul's daughter's actually going to be listening to this as well, and she's 4 years old as well, so her name's Phoebe. Would you like to say hello to Phoebe?
Hi, Phoebe.
And I guess as you're going to go, do you want to say bye, Phoebe, as well?
Bye.
Phoebe.
I don't know. I don't like video.
You want to watch your video? All right. Sorry, Phoebe. We tried to get a bye for you. I guess that'll do. Thank you, Jackson.
MGB.
All right. Let's move on to round 3. Let's do it the other way around this time. You got to go first last time, Mason. All right. What do you have for your third best match then for SmackDown, Paul?
Okay, so my third best, okay, this is a moment, is Becky Lynch. I'm going to lump 2 Becky Lynch moments in together.
Okay.
It's when she attacked Charlotte during Charlotte's photo shoot, and she stood over Charlotte and was saying, "Take a photo of the champ. Take a photo of the champ."
Yeah.
I like that classic heel behavior, and also when she confronted Lana backstage, and Lana made the mistake of saying "mind your own business,"
Mm-hmm.
and Becky rightly pointed out that she's the champion. This is her business.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm really liking Becky. I liked her when she was a face, and I thought she definitely deserved that push. I'm glad she won the championship. I didn't think it was going to come quite as quick as that. I thought they were going to make her wait perhaps another month. But no, she's fully embracing that role now. I thought it was just going to be directed towards Charlotte, but it seems like it's towards everybody now, and that kind of surprised me as well. At least she had a reason before.
Yeah.
When it was Charlotte, you knew why she was gone heel, because Charlotte did her wrong as far as she was concerned. But she seems to be turning that towards everybody now.
I think it's the kind of the turn in her character she needed. She needed that edge. I think she was always coming up short in title matches, and even in the triple threat match with Charlotte and Carmella, I think she lost that because she was treating Charlotte as a friend rather than an opponent, and Charlotte proved she could do otherwise.
Yeah.
So that snapping has just really made Becky an amazing character now.
And she can do no wrong. The crowd still cheer her. It doesn't matter. Whatever. Perhaps even more so now, particularly when she uses non-PG friendly language. Anything you want to add on this one, Mason?
No.
All right, let's go to number 2 then, Paul.
Number 2 was the Samoa Joe and AJ Styles contract signing.
Uh-huh.
I'll be honest, when it was announced at the start of the show, or announced on Raw even, that there'd be a contract signing, I kind of rolled my eyes and thought, here we go again. But I love how they took it and they twisted it, and they had the no-show from Samoa Joe, and then suddenly he was at AJ Styles' house, the house that AJ Styles bought.
Yes.
And and I'd love how it finished as well. You know, we were talking about a cold start at the beginning, the cold end of the show where Samoa Joe rang the doorbell, and I can't remember what he said, but he said something and it faded to black.
Daddy's home was certainly one of the things he said.
I thought he was going to say Wendy.
That was it.
Yeah, he did say Wendy at some point, I'm sure.
I thought he would, say, Wendy.
He must have said something. I know he definitely said Daddy's home. I thought it was a little creepy, actually. I don't think it fit in very well with a PG thing, but it was certainly better than having the old table in the middle of the ring and signing, that's for sure. That's very repetitive.
Like slamming somebody through it, and it's always like Rhonda, didn't she? She slammed Triple H through a table.
Yep.
While she dropped him, and then she signed it.
Yep.
Samoa Joe dropped AJ through a table. Signed it.
Table normally gets flipped, and it's pretty predictable. So no, I would agree with it. It was nice that they actually did something different with it.
Like, it's every single time something big happens, the person gets taken out, they sign it, like Shinsuke Nakamura. This pin is broken, and then the security people.
That was good. I like that one. That was a good one.
Yes, the security people brought him away because he was about to slap Shinsuke. So they're always not there because they wouldn't just stand there, watch him sign it, and then have him leave. So I thought it would be better for a change to actually just do that because it's everyone knows what's gonna happen. It's gonna be somebody gets taken out and then you signed it. So I think it's fine.
Okay. All right. What about your number 1 moment then, Paul?
Number 1, and again, it's the same with the contract signing. Kind of a typical trope of WWE that I usually really don't like at all. I really don't like wrestling-fronted chat shows, but that changed for me this week with Truth TV. I could have taken all 3 of my favourite moments from Truth TV, I think.
And I would agree with you as well. I thought Truth TV was a nice little switch on that. I actually like the little dance segments between. I think the general feeling was that wasn't so good. I thought that was different. I don't know I'd want to see it every week, but I certainly liked seeing it the first time.
When Miz came out and he really wanted to talk, and then R-Truth just interrupts him. 7-second dance break.
They really wound Miz up, which is always a good thing as far as I'm concerned. Whenever Miz is upset, you know that you're actually going to get some good entertainment. The only thing that I didn't like about that, and it's not really from that segment that you mentioned, Paul, it was more from the afterwards. I knew that Miz was going to win. You just felt that he'd been disrespected so much, and you knew that he was going to try and cheat his way to a win, and that's pretty much what happened. I would have liked to have seen him lost and get a little fired up, actually. And then Daniel Bryan could have taunted him, because he said, does this mean he loses his number one contendership if he loses this match? I think that would have been funny if something had have happened. If Carmella had distracted him or something. I don't think it could have been a clean win, but if they'd have won like something like Carmella distracts, that could have been interesting, and Daniel could have taunted him a little bit, but yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah, definitely. And I did think there was a potential that Miz could lose after he hit the skull-crushing finale. And he was just staring at Daniel Bryan. I thought maybe he'd missed his moment to get the victory.
Anything to add, Mason?
No.
All right, so what have you got for your third moment, then?
Is Truth TV replaces Miz ... until Miz wins the match. So, that was my third moment. And second one was Samoa at AJ's house, which we already talked about. And then the first one, what happened in Milwaukee? I have no clue.
Good question. Now, I think I misunderstood this whole event, but what was your take on this, Paul?
We really need to know what happened in Milwaukee, don't we?
We do, yeah.
On my notes...
Aiden English has video evidence.
It is. I think I totally misunderstood what happened. In my mind, I thought that Aiden English had seen something that happened to Lana. But when I talked to Matt, and having looked over Twitter, it seems like there might be a connection between Lana and Aiden English. So they might have been going behind Rusev's back, which I certainly didn't consider that at all. So I guess we'll have to see. But...
I remember one time when Lana was talking to Rusev, and then she said that he's holding him back. So I don't think that was Milwaukee, though.
Yeah, that's the thing I can't remember. Do you have any idea when it was in Milwaukee?
I've no idea when they were last in Milwaukee.
I don't remember.
It's probably they haven't even filmed it yet.
I'm sure it's happened. Happened. Like I say, they travel all around the country. I remember a couple of weeks ago it was New Orleans. And then I honestly just don't remember anymore. I don't even know where this week's episode was from, to be honest.
I think it's from Denver.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be something from the NXT thing where Aleister Black was attacked. Mm-hmm. And then it's gonna be something like that they film later, not at the actual time.
Could be.
So it's probably gonna be something like that, or it's gonna be the camera's outside or something.
That just reminds me, I've missed the last 2 weeks of NXT. I don't know anything about that story anymore.
I don't even know who saw it.
Yeah. Have you been watching NXT, Paul?
I've not seen NXT since the last takeover, unfortunately.
Oh, so yeah, no, we got a bit of catching up to do. We've been kind of busy. As soon as you mentioned that one, I was like, oh, yeah, I don't even know who did attack Aleister Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Same for Impact. We didn't even know who was the attacking in the backstage.
Oh, I knew.
It was I know, but I didn't watch Impact for a month because I had no time to. And then you told me it was Killer Cross.
Yeah.
Didn't you say Killer Cross liked your post?
It wasn't one of my posts. It was really weird. Last Friday, I'd posted that we were going to listen to the PCO interview on Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast. Because I know you like PCO. I thought Thursday's edition was the PG version. It's not, which is why you didn't listen to it. And then I came home, and I didn't feel very well that day, and I switched on my phone. I had over 100 notifications. I'm like, what on earth's happened here? And there was people commenting all over this post, and it just suddenly spiraled. Like you said, you talk on your show, Paul, how it suddenly spirals out of control, and suddenly you go off on tangents, and suddenly 2.5 hours have passed. It looked like the same thing on this thread. People were talking about one thing, and then suddenly it just kept going and going and building momentum. And then at the end, somebody posted a picture, and Killer Cross liked it. Really strange. Twitter's a very strange creature, and it certainly was for that one. That was your number one moment then, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, as this is the streamlined version of MGB, that's going to do it. Yeah, there's no tweet of the week. We're not following Brock Lesnar anymore. We're not having a podcast of the week, but I think we should definitely mention your podcast. So, Paul, first of all, thank you very much for coming on. It's always good to get some new opinions. It gives me a chance to get a little break as well. I don't have to give my opinions for a week, I don't have to find quotes for you, because that takes much longer to do. Go ahead and plug your podcast for us, Paul. Tell us when it comes out. Tell us where we can find you on Twitter, all that stuff.
Okay, well first, thanks for having me on. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm not just saying it. You guys produce my favourite podcast of the week. I'm genuinely thrilled to be on here. Our podcast, 5 Nerds Go, we're primarily a wrestling podcast, but more often than not, we descend into anything but wrestling. It's a bit like, remember they used to call Seinfeld the sitcom about nothing.
Show about nothing, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to describe us. We're the podcast about nothing. We're just as likely to talk about 80s cartoons or restaurant menus as we are wrestling. Basically, we were a group of guys. We met on the old BBC 606 forum, if anyone remembers that.
Yeah.
We were there a good 10 years ago, and we just connected, and we've been talking pretty much every day ever since. And now we thought, why not record this and see if anyone likes it?
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't know if anyone likes it other than you.
No, the first one I listened to you, and if I'd have listened to that, I wouldn't have thought it was a wrestling podcast. It was the quiz. You did a pub quiz, and it went on for, I think, about 2.5 hours. And then I started going back into the archives and listening to a few more. And, you do. The other ones are more of a mix. It'll be like, you'll talk about wrestling for a little bit. Like I say, you'll talk about other things. Definitely foods, because I know you asked us questions on Mason when we were away over the summer. I think your question was, what's your favourite bar food snack, I think, if I remember correct.
I think I said, what was those, Scampi fries?
Didn't you choose like a bar food in the end? Didn't you choose like bread and oil or something that you can dip into?
Yeah, it was the...
I think I suggested Scampi fries to you. Yeah.
Not Travis Joe's fries.
Alright, now one thing I do want you to clear up for me, because apparently I'm on the outside on this and I have no idea. I know somebody explained it to me once. What's fennel?
You'd have to ask Pete that. I have no idea how to describe it. Is it a herb? Is it a vegetable? I don't know.
Where do you get it from? Somebody said it's like an onion or something. I've never even seen it. I had no idea what you guys were talking about at all. I was totally lost.
I know I don't like it.
Oh, okay. So do you buy? Is it just from the store, or do you have to go to like a greengrocer's, or I don't even know if these exist anymore?
I think you get it from supermarkets loose. Clearly, the supermarkets Pete shops that he couldn't get hold of one for love nor money, but they're out there.
All right. Well, I'm going to say I tried looking when I was in England. I didn't see them. I know you recommended one food for me as well. Some dessert that was really expensive. It had like 2 letters in it. Do you remember what it was?
Goo puddings.
That's it.
Didn't we have some?
We did. I wasn't that impressed. I don't know what you thought.
Good.
Oh, you liked it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't like it. I didn't think it was good.
Isn't it the one we had at Granny C's where
We did.
Like...
Oh, my mom was furious. I told her to go buy these. I said, look, somebody said we should get these. And she brought them down. The look on her face, she likes going to Aldi. She likes buying her bargains. And she was like, these are really expensive. I was like, oh, they are? I was like, I got no idea.
You've got to get in there when they're on offer.
I guess that's the deal. But yeah, you got me into a whole lot of trouble with her. So next time I'm going to have to make sure I pick the Tesco's home brand yogurt, I guess, as my dessert next time I go. Mason's correcting me because he wants me to say yogurt, but I wasn't going to fall for that trap. No, you know it's yogurt.
Yeah, I know what yogurt is, but I thought you would just say yogurt.
No, there's no way. We're all British. We're going to talk about them. We're going to use the proper language here. All right, let's get out on that note, Paul, because I know it's heading towards midnight. So once again, thanks for doing this. We'll add Jackson's entry in after we've done, once he's come back, and then if you listen on Friday with Phoebe, then we can find out how you've done. But I think that you're probably going to be the first person who's beaten Jackson on Are You Smarter Than a Fourth Grader?
It's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from him.
Goodbye.
The music was Zigzag by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0, http://creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0/. Alright, so as we got a special guest today, Mason, you know how we normally do...